Hello, and thank you so much for tuning in to iNaturalbody. This is where I get an opportunity to share with you my successes and failures, or should I even call them failures? Thanks for visiting the channel, and here's something just for you. Today's vlog is about soaping in odd-shaped containers. So one day I had a container and there were 4 sizes within the container. All of the containers worked well except for one. I think one of the containers may have actually reacted poorly to the whole saponification process. In addition, I got ash on the top of my soaps, and there was like this moisture buildup on the glycerin embeds that I used. This particular bar here, you can see where the container failed considerably. And so what I want to try to do is like clean some of it up. Something else I noticed was like the deposit of like salt. And I did read in a soaping forum that that was naturally a normal and natural process during the saponification, the live water, the whole chemical process of making soap, that was normal because of the types of oils that I may have used. So I'm okay with that. In addition, the ash, it's not a big deal for me. I actually like the way that the ash forms on top of the soap. It kind of lends to more character in it, and I like homemade products, and I don't mind it at all, and neither do the customers that I have. So let's try to clean up some of this stuff and make these bars look a little more aesthetically pleasing. I found a cheese slicer at a thrift store. I didn't pay much money for it, not even $1. This one, however, I purchased, and I really wanted to have one like this, and so I went ahead and purchased one of those. And this is something that I repurposed from in my home. It's a potato slicer. So we're going to see how these tools work on an odd shaped container soap. So let's start with this one. Right off the back, I'm noticing something. I'm not going to do too much here. You know, these reacted perfectly fine in the container, but this one here is where the most damage was done. And looking at this slicer, the blade itself keeps rotating, and it's putting more of the side with the teeth into the soap, and I don't particularly like that. It's making more marks and indentations within the soap. So I'm going to try to hold it a different way and see if that works. No, it's not. So this tool, it's not something that I want to use on my soaps. I don't like that. So we're going to go to this one. And I really like the way the potato peeler helps to remove some of those uneven portions of the soap. Yeah, so I'm just going to clean up a little more. Now this was a cold process soap. Before taking it out of the containers, they did sit in the containers for 1 day, and the soaps were allowed to go through a I want to say at least 4 week period of just like resting and allowing some of the water to evaporate out of the soap. So these are not freshly made soaps. I don't want to give you that impression. As a matter of fact, I'm getting ready to seal and package and seal these with the heat sealer, but I did want to come on and show you or vlog about my experience with soaping in an odd shaped container. Some of the ash I was able to remove by simply dipping the soaps in distilled water, in some warm distilled water, and then lightly dabbing it with a paper towel. Now this, real quickly, this cheese slicer, I love it. I absolutely love it. The only caveat is you have to be familiar with using this particular tool. Honestly, this was my first time using this type of cheese slicer. Myself personally, I have a cheese slicer with the wire. It's a wire with a small marble board, and that's what I'm used to using. A handheld tool such as this to slice cheese, I've never used it before, so you might want to practice if you haven't used it before. But I will say, out of the tools, my favorite is this one and that potato peeler. The other one, I'm going to chunk it away into the trash can because I didn't like it at all. I didn't like the way it marked up the soap, and that's not the look that I was going for. So yeah, what's something else that happened during this process? I talked to you about the, because I used tallow, a natural occurring process in the that happens during the lye water chemicals whole the phase from the sponification phase is the production of salt on the soap. So that was something I learned just from reading one of the soaping forums. Um, that was beneficial to me because I couldn't figure out for the life of me what did I do to cause this, and that's all it was. It's something that's naturally occurring, and it can easily be rinsed off with distilled water, um, and that helped. Now, as far as I really like the way that it did clean up. I really like it. And now the scraps I'm definitely going to use in a different soaping project. But what I was saying before was, yeah, I won't have to do anything to these bars at all. I like the way these turned out. Um, the ash and the humidity, they're not big concerns for me or the people that I serve with my soap so far, but in the future I would like to decrease the occurrences of these things. And so maybe the next project I'll use like the low sweat melt and pour to do my embeds. I'll try that out. I think I need to adjust the camera. I want to make sure everything is in focus. And so here I am, once again just explaining and showing to you the different tools that I used. I've already chunked that other one. I don't even want to have it in my tool bag for whenever I'm doing my soaping cleanup detail. But for the most part, this cold process experience in the odd-shaped containers was a very pleasant experience because the majority of the soaps did respond beautifully to the containers. It was just a few of them, and I would say that it was probably because of the temperature that I soaped at, which I didn't write that down. I wish I would have now. Hindsight is 20/20, right? But I would say that maybe the soap became too hot for the container itself, and so it caused the container to warp. That could have been it. Maybe the fragrance oil could have increased the temperatures of the soap and the live water. That could have been something else. Or maybe the container itself was not supposed to be used for soaping. There's different things that could have caused this type of reaction. But after cleaning up the soaps, they're packaged and heat sealed, and this is what they looked like. It was just a few of the bars. I didn't want to remove too much soap because some people like the character of homemade products, and they want as much character in a natural product as possible, and so I didn't want to take too much away from that part. Most of my clientele are older people, and they know what to expect from the soap product itself, but for me it was more about the aesthetics. I just took a few more shots just to show you guys what the packaging looked like, and now they'll be put out in my shop for sale. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, for checking out this channel. I hope you're having a wonderful day. As always, be blessed. Bye-bye.